Now we come to the story of Mrs. Cheeseman's orchard. A matter of fact, the village had a tremendous amount of orchards within the village proper. In days gone by, there was just down the road on Sutton Road towards the village, Tarrystone, there was a house called Ship Orchard, which was just across School Lane from Mrs. Cheeseman's orchard. And there were quite a few other orchards in the village, of course, and not forgetting, of course, in Cookham Dean, there were the famous cherry orchards, which have now long disappeared. So, Mrs. Cheeseman's orchard, of course, was popular with us boys. There was a little low brick wall between us and the orchard, and we used to nip over there because that particular orchard had some beautiful apples when in season, like Blenheim orange and Cox's orange pippin, and of course some nice Victoria plums. And then against the row of Blackbutt's cottages, there was 3 or 4 lovely walnut trees. Mind you, you had to be careful what you did with the walnut skins because they stained your fingers and that gave the game away. But, I think it was known by Mrs. Cheeseman that the schoolboys did venture in during those period of times. Mind you, Joe Tubb was the police constable, was always on the lookout for boys that would go scrumping. Oh well. Anyway, matter of fact, that orchard was long before Mrs. Cheeseman. A matter of fact, my great uncle Alfred lived in Hall's Corner. That was the name of the house in those days. And he was there until he moved to Sheep House Farm, where he became a tenant farmer to Sir Ernest Gardner. And also you'll notice in the map a little white spot which says kitchen garden. That was Mrs. Adams' kitchen garden. A matter of fact, I think John Fowler, who was caretaker for the school, used to plant things for her so she had fresh vegetables when she wanted them. And as you can see by the picture, the school was very, very small and very narrow. But and then, of course, there was Blackbutt's cottages, which actually was built in 1934 by the architect was Mr. Kislenbury, and he's the same architect that designed the Pinder Hall, and then he died, and the place was rented out as sort of low-cost housing. I think something like 10 shillings a week, something like that, and the person who collected the rent was John Fowler, who lived in number 1, and every Friday night he would collect the rent and then take it around to Mrs. Kislenbury, who lived in a house just off School Lane. So that's my story of the Cheeseman's orchard. I hope you enjoyed it.